Nice it is. So you have to look at it that he is like that what is inside you is also the same. அப்புறம் எப்படி இருக்கா நீ உன்னோட ஹவுஸோட அப்படியே you must be cursing கொஞ்ச நாள் கூட குழந்தைகளோட
No, I feel bad that I missed time with them, but it's okay.
I know. It's okay. It's okay.
I mean, everything is stuff.
श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ओम सर्वेभ्यः सुस्वागतम् प्रार्थनात् आरम्भं करिष्यामः ॐ योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्यखिल शक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यांश हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यम् वागर्थाविव सम्पृक्तौ वागर्थप्रतिपत्तये जगतः पितरौ वन्दे पार्वती परमेश्वरौ वासुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम् ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं हरिः ओम्। सर्वेभ्यः नमस्काराः सुस्वागतम्। गत सप्ताहे वयं किञ्चित् श्लोकाः दृष्टवन्तः। के श्लोकाः दृष्टवन्तः एकवारं पुनरावर्तनं करिष्यामः। प्रथमतः केचन श्लोकाः दृष्टवन्तः, तत्पश्चात् अन्तिमे एकः श्लोकः दृष्टवन्तः। किम् अभवत् तस्य तत्र बालस्तावत् क्रीडासक्तः, तरुणस्तावत् तरुणीसक्तः, वृद्धस्तावत् चिन्तासक्तः, ब्रह्मणि परमे ब्रह्मणि कोऽपि न सक्तः। एषः श्लोकः दृष्टवन्तः। We saw what it meant, and we also saw, yes, this is a fact of life. You know that, as a child we all just want to play. We don't want to do anything much. We all want to be, enjoying ourselves. And then as we grow into our youth, yes, there is a lot of attractive things all around us. We all get drawn to that, and we are all in the midst of all those things. Then as you grow old, repentance starts. So at this point, the question that was asked was, how do we move from this point to thinking about Brahmani? How do you start thinking about something that will not create that chinta, the vilapa? Sankalpa vikalpa manaha. Right? We are either thinking about something in the past, or we are trying to do something in the future. Sankalpa is future. Vikalpa is whatever has happened. Why did it happen to me? These are the two key problems that we keep facing. And we said to do something, anything for that matter, we need a form of Shraddha. So that is where Shraddha comes in the six Shad Sampattayah. We said, we started with Shama, Dhamma, Uparati, Titiksha. We also saw Shraddha. Shraddha was the last one we saw last week. Right? We saw how all Shraddha manifests itself. And I also mentioned that Shraddha can be both any form. Shraddha can take multiple forms. And Shraddha taking any form will be depending on the guna of the person. That's why we have Shraddha Traya Vibhaga Yoga. So for that matter, even Ravana will have a lot of Shraddha. A lot of Shraddha with Shiva. The Shiva Tandava Stotra which he created, then there was Pradosha Puja which we do, a lot of things he created. That was lot of Shraddha, a lot of tapas. A terrorist act will need a lot of tapas to be there. But that does not mean they are doing the right thing. Right? Shraddha and tapas, we think that they're only of good connotation and the right context. Now the question that comes is, what is it that is the right form and what is it that is the wrong form? How do we come to that and how do we go to that state of Bhagavanta? Right? That is the question all of us have. And we want to move to some state where we said, with all these, what is the end goal that we want? We said we want some level of happiness. And we had a long discussion. Parvati Mahodaya stated about happiness and contentment, the difference between happiness, contentment. And we were also said, what was that around it? We said satisfactory and being contented. Right? You can be satisfied but not contented. You can be contented but not satisfied. All four possible combinations are there with it. But no, there are only not four, there are only three. Because if you are contented, you're necessarily satisfied. So you cannot be contented but not satisfied. So that if you take out, there'll be three possible ways that things can work out. Right? And all of us said we want to move to a state we are going to be contentment. Reaching a state of contentment was our primary goal. Right? Everyone wanted that. So today, what we will do, we will quickly see three shlokas, some ideas behind that shloka, and come to that point of the last of the Shat Sampatti. That is basically Samadhana. So Samadhana is in some sense comes with that contentment. Right? And what are those ideas which lead to that Samadhana? How do we get that? It should be a very practical idea. No, otherwise, we can all keep on talking in air and I can keep giving enough lectures. Sushila Mahodaya was just asking, why don't we get into the Atma, Anatma, Vichara? We can start talking about it in great lectures. But if it is not practically applicable in our day-to-day life and start seeing it in action, then it becomes a good enjoyment for an hour and then we can all go back. That's as good as, chit-chatting with a cup of coffee and, nice samosa, bhaji, whatever you want. And then, well, we all can go back. The idea of this is to sort of stir some thought where we can go back and do chintana and manana. Correct? So, nice jargons will be very nice to state. But what do those jargons mean for me? What does Shraddha mean for me? What does, for instance, we spoke about Shama, Dama, Uparati, Titiksha. What do those things mean for me as an individual? How does it connect me with the external world? Can I implement it? What are the challenges that I face with it? Can we start thinking on those? That is the whole idea. So Krishna assures certain things and Acharya assures some certain very, very interesting things. So we will start by seeing those and then move to that state of how do we come up with what is called Samadhana and understand Samadhana in great detail. Okay. So that is the objective for the session now. Where is let me name? Yeah. Okay. So we saw this Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsara, Shama, Dama, Uparati, Titiksha, Shraddha, Samadhana. Okay. We saw this. This was the last thing we saw last week. That how does Shraddha express itself in work and in food? We also saw in food. Food also can. What are the things that Tamasika person will like? What are the things that Rajasika person will like? What are the things that a Satvika person will like? So the idea is to map ourselves back and say, what sort of a mindset am I having? What is my guna? What is it? What is my true nature? That is the whole idea of reflecting back on these. There's a Guna scorecard. We can discuss it in some detail in some class, at some later point, but we'll move on for now. Okay, anybody and everybody can express Shraddha. Okay. So now let us quickly see some three shlokas today, which are very interesting ideas. Kate Kanta, Kaste Putraha, Samsaroyam, ativa vichitrah kasya tvam kaha kuta ayatah tvam vichintaya tadiha bhratah. So I'll just do a padacheda first and then talk about this. Ka te kanta, kaha te putrah, samsarah ayam ativa vichitrah. Kasyatvam, kasyatvam, kasyatvam. It should be what? Let me change that. It should be kasyatvam. Kasyatvam, kaha kuta ayatah, tvam vichintaya bhratah. That is the padacheda. So if I were to say it is chintaya, think. Hey bhrata, bhrata. Hey, it's an address to that person, that old gentleman who was, standing upside down and then reading this one, reading Vyakarna, Ashtadhyayi. So he says, Te Kanta. What is Kanta? Patni. Spouse. You take it for now as spouse. Who is that spouse? Who is that putra? What is this samsara? It is very vichitra, right? From where did you come? Kasyatvam. From where did you come? Whose are you? Kaha kuta ayataha. Where did you come from? Kuta ayataha. Think about this. So the first step in Vedanta, there is a lot of it in Vedanta, but then the very first step is to ask, who am I? Reflecting inwards, asking the question, who am I, is the first step that you take towards Vedanta. You can keep doing a lot of puja, you can keep doing a lot of bhakti, you can keep doing a lot of, temples, you can do a temple run, you can do yajna, you can do so many things. But your journey on the Vedantic spiritual journey begins with the question, who am I? And that's where Acharya is saying, instead of first saying, who am I? Start questioning your surrounding. Who are they? What is that tree there? I can replace it with many other things. What is that tree there? I see a wall there. What is that wall? What is that nakshatra? What is that space? I can start questioning a lot of things. Now, if you remain with that, the thing is you'll discover a lot of things. We have done a lot of things. We have done a lot of things in astronomy. We have done a lot of things in space-time equilibrium. We have done a lot of discoveries. I can do a lot of course on what is called Indian knowledge, what is today known as Indian knowledge systems. That is one way. That is a beautiful way of doing it. That is one way of looking at it. But when you are at the age of 95, that is the person Bhrata Hai is addressing, start asking, who is that wife that you are so close to? Your wife is the closest one, or your spouse is the closest one you are with. So can you ask, who is that? Your son, your child. Who is that child? Who is that child? Can you ask the question, who is that child? Are you that child? Your child is yours. But are you the child? That's the question that we all need to reflect on. He or she is your spouse. But are you the spouse? That is not possible, no? Samsara ativa vichitra. It is a very, very weird world. I mean, we take it for granted, but if you really think on it, the world is very weird. The way it looks, it is very, I mean, it's a man-made construct. The society is a man-made construct, right? The society that we live in, the family structure, the societal structure, very important, very interesting and very important structure. But then it's a structure and it is done in certain ways. So can we ask that question, what is this? I'm not saying run away from it, but what is it? Start from there. Who do you belong to? So if you say your child is yours, can you say you belong to your parents? So can your parents claim that, you are me or I am you? Is that something that the parents can claim? Right? From where did you come? Yes, your parents brought you in some sense. But where were you before that? So we have the simple thing. No, nothing can come from nowhere and nothing can go nowhere. It has to have an existence somewhere to have come here. Kaha kuta kahatvam. So that is, who am I? So kasya kaha kutaha. all relate to this tvam. Who am I? Kaha tvam? Who are you? So there is a beautiful Eka Shloki. I'll bring it next week. I'll bring that Eka Shloki. It goes from, his Acharya starts with Kahatvam. Somebody says Koham. He says Soham. Then he says, this body is, I am this body. Oh, are you this body? What happens to the body after you are dead? Do you separate out from the body? Should we ask these questions? Interesting questions. So this is the very, very first step in our Vedantic journey. The question if you ask, who am I? So how many of you, let's have a small discussion. I want to create a small discussion here. How many of us can answer this question, who am I? So we'll start with, let's say, okay, Basavaraj Mahodaya today. Yes. Who am I? Kaha.
According to Shankaracharya.
No, according to Shankaracharya. I don't know. Let's leave out the Shankaracharya for now. Who am I? Let's ask that question to ourselves. What do we understand about I?
I am a body.
I am a body.
Yeah. And there is a soul inside, but basically I'm a body right now.
I am a body. And you termed the word soul. Okay, we'll take that soul in a little while. But yes, you said, now you brought two features. One you said body, you said soul. Now, what is you? Are you the body? Are you the soul? Or are you a combination of the body and the soul?
It is like a peanut, right? The peanut, when it is in the shell, you cannot say which one is correct, right? This peanut is a whole thing. The peanut shell is the body. The peanut is the one which is soul, kind of.
So okay, I'll bring another concept now. Peanut. Peanut is beautiful, right? You have a shell. Now inside there is a peanut. Now there is a skin on that peanut.
Yep.
Is the skin also the peanut?
Skin on the inside peanut. It is part of it.
It is part of it. So then you have a skin and a peanut.
Yes. Yeah. So there is only one answer. There is only one single answer.
So there we go. See, that is not there. Okay. Shalini Mahodaya, Bhavati Vadato. You say. Who am I?
Hariom Mahoday. So there was an acquaintance that I had in my contact list, and sorry, and she probably deleted my number. And I wanted some information from her. She was running some courses, and I wanted some information for her. And I think instead of typing, "Who is this?" she typed in. She must have been in a hurry, and she typed, "Who are you?" Okay. So I typed back saying, "I'm still searching for the answer." Okay. So I do not really know who I am.
You do not really know who you are.
So I think I've yet to meet the real me.
Oh,
it's under it's like an onion. I'm peeling off layers, but I'm not yet there.
You are just like what Basavaraj Mahodaya said. I'm peeling off from a peanut onwards, is from the shell to the nut. Okay.
Yeah, you could say that. Yes.
Uttamam. Mrinalini Mahodaya, bhavatyaः विचाराः के?
अहमपि भवन्तमेव पृच्छामि, अहं का अहं?
का अहं? एक अन्य प्रश्न पृष्टवती. उत्तमं प्रश्न. अहं का अथवा अहं कः? सत्यं वा? अहं किम्? अहं का? अहं कः? के अस्य देशं का प्रश्नः उत्तमम्? What is the right question?
ओहम is correct सर्वेषां कृते, परन्तु अहं मम कृते उक्तवती अतः का अहम् इति उक्तवती.
का अहं तत्र एक संज्ञा जाता. सत्यं वा? संज्ञा जाता. संज्ञा जाता तत्र. उत्तमम्. अस्तु. ओके. चित्रा महोदय, वदतु.
विचाराणां संग्रहः अस्मि.
संग्रहः अस्मि.
विचाराणां
संग्रहः अस्मि. विचाराणां संग्रहः अस्मि. अहं मनसि, अहं मनः. सत्यं वा? अहं मनः वा इति प्रष्टुं शक्यते. चिन्तयतु. चित्रा महोदय, भवती वदतु.
According to Vyavaharika, I am Chitra, this body.
Okay.
Paramarthika and Parvati Parameshwaro.
Forget Paramarthika. As I said, jargons are not understood. Sushila Modia just gave me some example of Atma, Anatma. I said, if we get into that, then it is something that may not mean anything to any of us, right?
Aham Brahman Asmi.
Aham Brahman Asmi. Bhavati Brahman Asti va? Satyam va?
Satyam.
Purnatah Satyam va? Bhavati
Purnatah Satyam. This body
Anubhavata.
will go to Prithvi. Andaryami Brahman. Aham Brahman Asmi.
Bhavati Drishtavati va?
Drishtavati nahi, but I'm Vichara.
Have you experienced? Have you gone there and confirmed that this is so?
Many times I experience. I'm nothing. This
You are
body is
nothing.
nothing.
Oh, wow. Okay. Then it's a very different thing. Then we have to believe her. Yes.
Yeah.
She is giving some this.
So we should also consider nothing is everything.
We'll come to that.
Yeah.
We do not know. As all of us are somewhere saying we don't know who we are. So I think that is where the discussion is heading, right? Jai Balambika Mahodaya Bhavati Vidato.
Actually,
Na shruyate.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, actually, Namaste Mahodaya. Actually, when I'm thinking about it, who am I?
Who am I? Uttamam. Vijaya Mahodaya.
Yes, we all are Atma Swarupas and covered by this Deha.
How do you know that?
Mahoday?
How do we know that? Can you prove it? I mean, we should not accept anything without proof. I mean, very clear, no? I mean, there should be some sense of saying, yes, there is Shraddha. I accept what is written there. But do I have proof for it?
This Deha is not permanent. It will go so, but
yes, okay. Deha will go. Agree. Deha will go. But what about, so do you know where that Basavaraj Mahodaya spoke about a soul, concept of a soul? I'll leave that soul part for now. Okay, we'll call it Atma. Okay. Where will that go?
To another body.
To another body. How do you know that? Have you seen it go? Yeah. So question these. These should be the questions that should keep coming. Right? So keep
Karmanusara Janma.
Karmanusara Janma. Basavaraj Mahodaya Vadato.
It's a more of a theoretical. It's not
Is it
practical.
Theoretical? If it is,
yes, because this is what we heard, right?
This is what we heard. Okay, heard. Okay, we'll come to that point of heard. The point of heard is very important. Bhavani Mahodaya Bhavati Vadato.
Namaste. I guess I would just say I'm part of this universe. So, I mean, early on, we won't know anything about Brahman and Atma and Anatma unless you start studying the scriptures. So, when you're very young, you only hear about Punarjanma and from the Itihasas and so on. Then, of course, when you start studying, then you understand the transmigration of the soul. Then you believe in reincarnation, being a Hindu. So then you start questioning, okay, what is this? Who am I? And all that. And so when you study the scriptures, then you learn there is something called the universal soul. You are part of that, and you learn about Maya and so on. So you go on decoding from there, and then finally you arrive at Aham Brahmasmi. So if you are an Advaitin, of course, if you are other belong to other religions, you have other notions of
let me make it very clear. That is wherever you belong to, that Aham Brahmasmi is a way. Okay, we'll come to that. You make a good point. We'll come to that in a minute. I see what you're saying.
So growing up, you have the concept of Punarjanma because you're hearing so many stories, seeing so many movies related to religious things. So that part is in our heads. But then we haven't questioned who am I. So only when we get into
we have not questioned. Key point, we have not questioned. We have believed certain things. Certain things have been imbibed. There are certain biases that have come in, but we have not questioned. Okay.
Yeah, we don't question because we are in a family structure. We have a lot of love, care, and all that. So there's no need to question, right? You're protected there. So only once you come out.
There. Only when you want to come out do you start
Yeah.
questioning. Okay.
Yeah.
Good points. Very good points.
Yeah.
Okay. Nagaprabha Mahodaya, Bhavati Hastam Unnitavati.
हाँ महोदय श्रूयते वा?
श्रूयते, सम्यक् श्रूयते.
हाँ महोदय. Until I know who I am, I feel very uncomfortable. Until that I get what it is. Then when I just observe body is changing, and my emotions sometimes we feel uncomfortable. Some according to the situations, whatever is happening in the world, what will happen in the future in this world, like that. So many conflicts happening in like Hindu,
Ukraine,
Muslim, and all religious things.
Ukraine, Russia.
Ukraine, Russia, everywhere war
Yes, everywhere.
happening.
Correct.
Something. All these differences makes it's like a very clash in the world. But as an observer, I observe all this happening. But when I go quiet in some place, nature, with the nature, I see nothing. Only birds and some rivers flowing sound. And I sit quiet there. I just listen, watch everything. Nothing is happening here. Everything is quiet.
Everything is quiet.
Everything is quiet. There is nothing happening. Only in the human world, all this quarrel happening because of our mind.
Because of
the differences we create ourselves.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
We have created ourselves the differences. What I think is correct. What I think, what is written in our dharma, whatever religion, is only the correct.
Okay.
What
so is
others are doing is
that thinking correct? Is that thinking wrong?
No. How can I say I don't? I cannot say because I don't know what they are saying. I don't. But the quarrel, what they are, why they are quarreling, that's wrong.
Why they are quarreling? That's wrong. So your point is quarrel is wrong.
Quarreling is wrong. You have to debate. You have to debate and you have to prove yourself if you are right. There's not a way that you impose this belief on others or interfere in others' belief and say that you are wrong.
So essentially you are saying that, your point is valid as long as we are sitting on the table and quarreling mentally, but not happy when we are quarreling physically. Is that the point you're making?
No, you have to debate and come to a conclusion. Inquire yourself. What is the truth?
That is one method of doing it. That is one method of doing it. But is that the only method of doing it? Food for thought. Think about it.
What if the conclusions don't happen?
No, that's a different point.
I think, and who am I, you are asking? I'm telling, all this quarreling happening in the world. When I sit quiet, there is no quarrel. When I see the nature in the nature, with the nature, I become merged with the nature. I think everything is okay.
Everything is okay.
Everything is fine. Everything is fine.
Okay. Then the question to you
quarrel, nothing.
Is at that point in time, is the Ukraine-Russia war okay with you?
No, other place is something happening in the mental level.
So that is the question that you should think about.
Human world in the human community.
Agreed.
Human community is creating all the problems.
So Nagaprabha Mahodaya, the question is this. At that point, you said you are calm and peaceful with nature. right?
Yeah.
At some point in time. Okay. When you are in that state, would you say that a quarrel or a fight between two random people happening, is that okay with you?
That's not okay because it's not in my control. How can I control others' mind?
No, that's a different story.
My mind itself, sometimes my mind itself not in my control.
No, just now you said.
I myself not in a control.
No, just now you said the quarrel is not fine with you when you're not in the peaceful state. Right?
No,
the question
as an
is,
observer, inside me, I don't have problem with the word.
See, whether you are in a quiet...
Whatever they do, it's for them.
I agree. Irrespective of whether you're in a quiet state, in a very solitude state where you're at peace with yourself, or in a very agitated state. Let's take two states, correct? In both the states, your focus of control or your locus of control on anything is not there. Do you agree? Let's take the example of Russia-Ukraine war. You don't have any locus of control over that in both the states.
Yeah. Only if I focus on that, we'll get agitated. If we don't bother, if we don't see or we don't talk about it, we'll be quite fine.
So now you are saying that that Russia-Ukraine war itself is going to give you two different states.
Yeah.
Correct? So that is a battle within yourself that is going on. An agitated state versus a non-agitated state. Think about it. Okay, we'll move on for now. Okay, now I think...
But as an observer...
as an observer, you're both...
I'm both not involved in that.
In both the states...
I'm not involved in that.
Mahodaya, in both the states, you're an observer.
Actually, yeah.
Right. But in one state, you get agitated. In another state, you are not agitated. That's all you're making. That's the only statement you're making.
But it disturbs. Yeah, it disturbs sometimes.
In one state, you're getting disturbed. In another state, you're not getting disturbed. That's the point you're trying to make. Correct?
If I get involved too much, it will disturb me. Truly. Yeah.
See, but you said you don't have a locus of control.
Because as a human, we will get disturbed because it is our mind.
Exactly.
It's the nature of my mind.
That's exactly what I'm trying to say.
I get disturbed when I see any violence.
So that's
any
what
violence, if I see, I get disturbed. It's the nature of my mind.
That's the nature of your mind. Now, are you the mind then?
Yeah.
You are the mind. Okay. That is one way of...
No, I cannot say, because when I am quiet, when I am not watching anything, I'm just sitting in the quiet. In our place is very beautiful nature around. I just watch sometimes the rain and all greenery, and I listen to the sounds in the nature. So I'm quiet, and slowly I will get dissolved. I don't feel myself. Yeah.
So hold on to that thought. Hold on to that thought.
Actually, I don't feel myself at all. I feel I am one with the nature.
So hold on to that thought. Hold on to that thought. We'll come back to it at a different point in time. Still there is a conflict. What you're saying, there is a conflict. You're saying there is one state you're not disturbed, one state you're disturbed. Okay. So we'll hold on to that thought. We'll come back. Anybody else? Somebody else raised their hands. Who was that?
Chitra Mahoday.
Yes, you raised. What was you wanted to contribute something?
Quarrel. Sometimes quarrel is also very important.
So hold on.
Like example, Calcutta matter. That quarrel is also very important.
Quarrels are very important. Okay. Now I think we have taken enough widespread this one. I'll just draw some common conclusions, and then based on that you give me if I have covered everything. Okay. First thing, as Shalini Mahodaya said, I don't know who I am. Pretty much all of us are in that state. Agreed? First step. Second thing, there are things that we get happy with. There are things we get sad with. There are things, as Nagaprabha Mahodaya said, agitated with. There are things that disturb us. There are things that please us, soothe us. As she said, I get dissolved in certain things, right? This is a very common state of things that happen to all of us, right? Third thing that all of us are seeing. Somebody said, I'm scared of asking that question. Who am I? Okay. How many of you are scared of asking this question? Yeah, Parvati Mahodaya, yes.
Not scared, but it's too much effort. So
It too much effort and it bogs me down too much.
yes.
Yes.
So I never ask. I'm happy
we
with
all,
just the physical attributes and okay, fine.
Srividya Mahodaya, yes.
Mahodaya, we all ask that question sometimes, but we are content with, as Parvati Mahodaya said, we are all content with whatever. Everyone calls me Srividya, so I am Srividya. That's it. We don't want to go
Forget your
further.
name. Forget that. As long as we get something to distract ourselves from that question, we run to that and leave that.
Yeah, but if we start thinking, then there's no end, I think.
There is no end to it. Yes.
So
now this is a very
yeah, but that's the same point. I feel I'll never reach an answer. So I don't even want to take the first step.
That is fear. That's in some sense a form of fear.
Fear or just maybe I think practical. Okay, I'm not going to reach that. Yeah.
It is not fear for me at least, but I don't want to think too much.
Too much. Yeah, that's why it's like it's a lot of effort.
It's like if I think too much, where will I head? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know where this will head.
No, I don't want to spend rest of my life thinking that. Instead, I think of somebody or something else. That's it.
Exactly. So that's a distractive mechanism that is built in.
Okay.
So walk out of that.
Yeah.
Right.
Pretend it's not there. That question.
Pretend that question is not
there.
Pretend that question is not there. Yeah, that's a standard. That's also a way of expressing, right? But essentially, this question exists in all of us. Whether we try to address it, run away from it, keep it far away, don't want to address it, whatever. Do we all agree that this question essentially exists? This is an existential question.
Yes.
Right? Some of us answer with saying, yeah, I am this, whatever I am doing, I need to keep working, keep me busy, keep me engaged in the thick of action and keep running around and keep doing things so that my mind, as Nagaprabha Mahodaya said, I am calm. Gets me to that state of calmness. Okay. Whatever that work is, it could be sitting in some place and then doing a lot of things. I know a lot of people who work like ants. Human beings who don't stop to even take a step back and think. Then mechanically working from 6 in the morning till probably 10 or 11 in the night, sleep. That's it. That's one way of doing things. There's no right. I'm not talking of rights and wrongs here. But the thing is, there are people who do that. But essentially, that existential question exists in all of us. And we all try to answer it in our own. Correct? That's exactly what Acharya is also saying. Start that inquiry. Instead of running away, start an inquiry. It's okay. Accept the answer. We'll come to that point in today's class. Accept whatever comes as an answer. If you start inquiring, now multiple things happen. It's like the beautiful example given is, let's say a river has flown. Let's take the case of Ganga. Ganga Mata has flown, or lots of rivers. They flow from so many thousands of kilometers. Just before entering the ocean, if the river were to stop and say, what will happen to my astitva if I get into the ocean? Right? That thought can come. If imagine it as a physical entity. If that thought comes, and let us say the river tries and some part of water stagnates out in some corner, what will happen to the water? It's trying to run away. We know what happens to stagnated water.
Breeds mosquitoes.
Yeah, breeds whatever it breeds. What happened? Yeah, am I back? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, so that is the state we don't want to get to. Right. So that is where Acharya is bringing in, saying, it's okay, do run around, do all the things. But when it comes to thinking, start that idea. Don't be afraid of that idea. Don't run away from the idea. Don't panic away and go away saying, oh, what will happen if I start thinking on these lines? Start that introspection and inquiry. That's where he's saying, Kahatvam, who are you? Ask that question to yourself. Nothing more. Some people will stop with saying, yeah, this is my body. There's a beautiful story of Indra and Virochana. I don't know how many of you know that. So Indra is basically, Indra is of course the quote unquote the king of gods, and Virochana is Asuras, this one. So they both have this question, who am I? They both get this beautiful question, who am I? They go to a guru and they ask, who am I? The guru says, go sit and stay in that ashrama for 5 or 10 years or whatever. Every day keep asking, who am I? Who am I? Over time, they stop asking. And then finally, after 10, 12 years of staying there, they again come up with that, who am I? And they go and ask. So the Acharya says, okay, come tomorrow, I'll show you who you are. So, but come very beautifully dressed, decked up. So he takes both of them to a very, very flush, very clean sheen of water. That is basically where you can see your reflection. Right? Something like what is there in the Doki Lake in Meghalaya. If you look at it, you will find that you can actually see yourself, or you can see the depth. Okay. So he says, look at this. This is what you are. So both of them look at themselves, beautifully dressed, decked up and everything. They say, this is what you are. And they go back. And then they go back. Virochana never returns. He is now happy. Oh, this is what I am. Indra gets a thought. Indra starts thinking, if this is what I am not like this every day. I am not decked up like this every day. If I come naked and stand there, what will it be? Then I have changed. Am I that? Then who am I? Right? Then that thought comes and he again goes back. No, there's something not right. I'm not that. I cannot be that. Because if I am that is a very fleeting thing. It's a fleeting thing. It's moving. It's temporary. So there should be something that I can say is I. Astitva, what we call the astitva. A technical term, astitva. Correct? So he says, now you are, go back and do some tapas for 25 years. Then he comes back and it goes on. It goes in 5 stages. After 100 years, he realizes something. We'll come to that at a different point in time. So the point is, if you accept that what you are right now, and this is my state and this is all I am, that is one way of progressing. That is good. The next step is going a little back and start thinking all over again, who am I? Is this me? Inquiring. All the Vedantic text, everything in Vedanta is all about inquiry. Trust me, if you read all the Upanishads, all the Bhagavad Gita, all of the Prasthanatraya, Brahma Sutra, Bhashya, there is a lot of description about it. They'll give you beautiful descriptions, but at the end of it, nobody will give you exactly this is what it is. If I were to summarize Taittiriya Upanishad in one sentence, it's all about Brahma Vida Apnoti Param. That's all.
Yeah, I heard the Sanatana Hindu is not totally believers. They do believe certain things, but they are more of seekers and explorers. Like they keep seeking.
Correct. So that one sentence, one who knows Brahman knows everything. That is about what the saying was. Nothing else. And then it goes on. Satyam Gnanam Anantam Brahma. So Veda Nitam Guhayam Parame Vyoman. It's all a description of that Brahman. That's all. But is how to get, what is it? You do it, go do tapas for 25 years. Go start thinking about it for 25. It goes on for 100 years then. Then you get into that Annamaya Kosha, then Pranamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha. All the Vedas come in the Manomaya Kosha, then Vijnanamaya Kosha, then Anandamaya Kosha, it goes on. So that thinking process is something not done over a single day. Okay, now let's, with this idea of who am I, Acharya has asked us to think on who am I. Reflect on that. Who are you? Who am I? Okay. And then come to that point. Okay. So let's think, take some time, go through a couple of more shlokas, and then we'll come to what is it that this question will lead to? Where will this question lead to? I agree. Initial stages can be agitation, fear. All things can manifest in us depending on our biases, our preconceived notions, our preconceived biases. It will all manifest. It will naturally manifest. It should be a very natural process. Agreed? All that will come. But where will this question ultimately lead to is something that Acharya tries to answer here. So let's try to get to that. Okay. Okay. He bhrata, tvam vichintaya, ayam sansarah ativa vichitrah kila. It's very complicated world. We cannot understand the complicated world. You don't know. Today you are told, why so much? You have given an instruction to your own children or your own parents or your own self, for instance, to do something. Can you give me 100% guarantee that that will be accomplished in the way you expect it to be done? Very simple. It's the simplest of probably the simplest of the simple tasks. Right? So then we need to start thinking, if we can't accomplish that much, what is it that we can do? Ka te kanta. Who is your spouse? Who is your child? Whose child are you? Whose are you? Forget child. Whose are you? Who do you belong to? Do you belong to something? Kasyatvam. Who do you belong to? Where did you come from? Where are you going? Question, no? Let's move on. Let's look at something more interesting. I just wanted to put this. This is this one. This is straightforward. I will not spend too much time on this. This is a very straightforward this one. So, tava vyavahardartha bharya ka, tava putraha kaha, kasyaha bharta tvam, kasya pita. Okay. Are you a father or are you a child? Can you answer that question? Are you a parent or are you a child? Are you a sister or are you a sister? Are you a niece? Are you whatever? I can put so many tags to it.
Hen
right?
or egg.
Huh?
Hen, first hen or egg.
Is it the egg or the hen? Tava utpatti sthanam ke, where did you originate from? Yes, parents brought you to this world. But was that the place where you originated? That's your physical body is where that origination happened. But is that where you really originated? Yetesham tattvam chintaya. Please think through these concepts. What the parents can do is get you to the physical state. But is that you? Is that really you? Is a question that we all need to ask, no? Let's move on. I'll tell you why I made that statement. Parents can create a physical body. Because it is very clear that prana, the prana in the body comes only at a certain point in time. It's very clearly mapped out. You can see the medical state. Okay. It's only during the 36 weeks of that pregnancy. It is not on day one. This one does not come up. The prana does not come on day one. It comes on a certain day. There's a very detailed description given in our Ayurvedic text as well as in current day medical science as well. So you can see that. At what point does it enter? Okay, at what point does prana enter? Jiva enters at a different point. Okay, we can get into that. Okay, so there's a very deep science to it. Chandogya Upanishad gives a very beautiful description of it. Okay, so is that prana you? Is that jiva you? Is that physical body you? What is the
Mahodaya, when we die, if we donate our organ, it will regain the life.
That is a
that organ. Yeah. But we are not there. I don't know what will happen. We are not there. But our organs will take the life. Every cell of our body is having life.
Okay, I will tell you a different, I'll put it in a different perspective.
Like that in the womb also, every cell that is growing in the womb is having life.
I'll
Not
give you
as a whole, not as a whole thing in whom the what you call the individuality has not come, but whole cell cells
I'll
of
give you a
the fetus
biological answer
having
to that.
life.
I'll give you a biological answer to that. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
How many cells are there in the body?
Innumerable.
Let's take some million or some number, some X number, right? Does the cell die?
Yeah, it will die.
Each cell will die within it is time to die. Do you agree? In a span of 7 years.
They say dead cells, yeah, dead cells every
No,
time.
there is no, okay, biologically, if I were to give you the right answer, there is no way a cell will be there from your birth till your death. Every cell dies.
It keeps changing.
And new cells are born. So every 7 years, if you, I think it's 7 years, you can check it up on any of the standard medical or biological systems. Every 7 years, you change. You have changed. Every organ, every tissue, every cell has changed.
Yes.
Okay. So, so the question now is that organ you? Again, I'll come back to that question.
Even Mahodaya, that our nails and hair, that also till head, that hair is this thing is there, but afterwards dead cell only. No.
Yeah, that's a dead cell.
I cannot say that that the cell is I, but whole thing is myself, but it is changing.
Yeah, it's changing. Keep thinking about it. So you will get to a state what is not changing. Now you need to start thinking what is that is not changing.
But I cannot say that body is not I. It's also it's part of me only.
Hold on. You'll come to
I
that.
cannot say body is not. It's changing. I agreed. It's not in the fetus. I'm different. Maybe I'm floating like a fish inside my mother's womb. But
1 minute. Hold on, Sushila Modi, hold on.
Now the body has changed. Maybe later body may decompose in the universe.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. But at present I cannot say that it's not me. It's part of me only. Body is part of my mind.
There's a difference between saying it's part of me and it is me. It is just like saying that, peanut example. That
body has come. I
body
don't know
has
whether I have taken it. I don't know. But body has come. It will go. It's the part. It's a like whatever is happening in the nature. It's happening with me also.
Correct. Exactly. So that body is so the question that you need to really ask, come to me with this answer in the next week, is your body is a part of you, or you are a part of that body. 3 questions. I'll put 3 questions. You need to answer each of these. Are you the body? Second question. Is your body part of you, or are you the part of your body? Answer this. Think through and answer. Take your time, think through and answer. Okay. Think through and answer. Take your time. Sushila Modi, you are saying something.
Yeah, I want to leave. May I leave?
Astu Modi. Dhanyawad. Okay.
Dhanyawad.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, let's move on. This is a very famous shloka. Satsangatve nisangatvam, nisangatve nirmohatvam, nirmohatve nishchalatatvam, nishchalatatve jivan mukti. Okay. Now, mukti here refers to moksha. At some point, we are all talking about moksha at some point. And whatever that concept of moksha that we vaguely have is a moksha. We all agree? So, birth and death cycle, and we don't want to be in that. We saw that detailed structure of how karmas lead to our what is that? Sanchita karma, then agami karma. In between, you have that prarabdha. You bring that prarabdha, and you want to get out of that karma cycle. That is Jivan Mukti. So Acharya is saying with a good set of people, you have a good set of sangha, satsanga. Now satsanga here means 2 things. One is the Sangha which we do with the external world. Right? That is this classroom, for instance, we are all sitting and doing some chintana. Okay. That sort of a chintana. That is one. The other satsanga is where we have, see, Sangha Sanjayate Kaman. If we remember that once upon a time I brought that shloka. Your desires, if you associate yourselves with the desires, your karmendriya and gnanendriyas will go in that state. Okay. Now, if you have that satsanga within, with all the kamas, you take out that kama varjita sangaha bhavehu. That is also satsanga. That takes away the sangha from the association of that work. Okay. That brings nissangatva. Nissangatve nirmohatva. Moha is something that we don't want. We all saw that in the beginning. Right? Shaddari Vargaha, moha was there. What was that? Krodha, Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsara. Correct? Nirmohatve Nischala Tattvam. That's what Nagaprabha Mahadeva was saying. A stable mind. That comes when I sit with nature and I am not going anywhere. Okay. Now, this is at multiple levels. What Nagaprabha Mahadeva stated was at the state of the mind. But again, the mind comes back. Now, if you can permanently take out that mind, for instance, thoughtless state, that is what leads to Gnana or Jivan. That is the message that Acharya is saying here. So, I have just given this Satsangatve, Nissangatve. Nissangatve, there is nothing much to do. All are Saptami Vibhakti and then Adhikarana or Pradama Vibhakta. Nissangatve, Nirmohatvam Bhavati. That is what it means. Okay. Nirmohatve, Nishchala Tattvam Bhavati. Nishchala Tattve, Jivan Mukti Bhavati. Parati Bodhe Vadato.
Did not understand the first part. Nitsangatve, Nissangatve.
Satsangatve. If you are with... what were you saying?
Yeah, that's what I didn't understand, the first part.
So, if you are in a state, see, how do you... Okay. I said you should be in a permanently thoughtless state. Getting to a permanently thoughtless state is what gives a lot of this one for Nagaprabha Mahadeva, comment the state is blissful state, right? How do you get to that state of blissfulness?
So you don't get involved in anything.
So it's a step-by-step process. No, you can't do it. Or you can't wake up one fine day and say, I'll stop thinking from today. Can it happen?
No.
It can't happen. So Acharya is giving a step-by-step process.
Mahadaya, just don't watch the media and all. Don't watch TV. Don't disconnect from the world.
No, hold on.
You will be fine.
No. You will not be. You will not be. Trust me, you will not be.
Your mind will be working. Yeah.
Your mind is still going through a lot of different thoughts. Correct?
Yes.
You switch off everything. You can stay away from it, but it will go somewhere else. See, it's one thing to physically not have the TV. Another thing to say, I will not even think about the TV. Right? So now, if I seed a thought that Russia-Ukraine war is going on somewhere, and leave it, I'll say you don't have a TV. Now, your mind can still start thinking what is going on there.
Yeah. Mind doesn't stop.
It can't stop, no. So physically, you may not have a TV, but still it's going on. So Acharya is saying, get into that satsanga. Change your pattern of thoughts. Indulge with a set of people where your thoughts become clean. Clear out your thoughts. Slowly, over time, it gets into a short period of thoughtlessness. As Nagaprabha Mahadeva said, yoga, for instance, you keep doing. Okay. From there, you dissociate from things. Oh, I need this. Will go away. Once that goes away, it brings a sort of Nischala Tattva. There is nothing moving. There is nothing wavering too much. Right? Nischala Tattva Jivan. Permanent Nischala Tattva, that is. Is this clear? Does this make sense?
Is it just want or being concerned, like she said, about what's happening around?
It's everything.
Yeah. It's not just everything. Want. It's so
everything.
Many things in life disturb you.
Exactly. So that's where, how do you bring that to saying, okay, I will not let that disturb me. See, do we all agree that there are people with many more problems in life?
Yeah.
There are people with many more challenges and problems and everything.
But how can we just ignore? Supposing something that is happening right in front of you.
No.
We cannot ignore.
No, there's a difference between ignoring and acting without attaching yourself. You will not ignore it. There is no way you will ignore anything. But you will act in a way that will be conducive to it if it's in your if it's in your control, or you will do whatever is in your control to get to that conducive state. Okay.
But if it says you do nissangatva. This is
no. Nissangatva does not mean that Nissangatva does not mean you don't act. Nissangatva means you act without a set of association with the thoughts. So, okay, let me give a simple example.
I don't understand.
Let me give a simple example. Let us say you are studying hard for an exam. Okay. Now, suppose your aim, all of us have a good aim of, performing well in the exam, right? Nobody says that I want to get 0 marks out of it, right? Otherwise, why would we write the exam? All of us want to get that 100 marks. Now, the question is, do you study from a perspective of learning something and expressing it in the exam? Or do you put out saying, my aim is 100 marks. So now let me do a backward R&D. That is saying, I will go find out 550 question papers, see what all questions have come. Accordingly, I will study. Multiple ways of doing it. No, it is possible. You can do that. Still, you can score 100 marks, which will give you a higher level of satisfaction.
Just the learning.
Yeah. The learning, right? Now, the moment you say it is for the sake of learning, whether you get 95 or you get 100, the marks will be immaterial. You are satisfied. Okay. Once you get that satisfaction, that leads to a level of contentment in this state, in this case. Right. Now, let's take the other case. You have worked for 100 marks. Probably you even got 100 marks. And you're satisfied with that 100 marks. But are you contented with what you did? You appeased yourself. But that is still bothering. Okay, this subject does not come to me. Are you confident of going and expressing that subject to somebody? Right. You can do, in the first case, you can go and express that subject to somebody without too much of thought, without too much of associating and attaching yourself with the subject. Can you do that? Does that make sense, Parvati Modhya?
I don't know. Supposing somebody is aiming for 100 and he or she gets the 100, they should be content. Why are they not content?
That's a question that they need to answer. Now, if that comes with the learning of the subject, it's a different thing.
Yeah.
If that comes with a sense of saying, probably that person knew more than I did, but he did not get 100, how will you feel?
It wouldn't matter.
It wouldn't matter, but you got 100. That's about it. You're satisfied.
Yeah.
Are you contented? Okay, now let me put the question differently. If I were to ask you to go and teach that subject somewhere else, what will you do? Who would be a better teacher in that case?
One who learned, of course.
Right?
We see that in life every time.
Right? It's an evident state.
Yeah.
So that is the Nisangatva that he is talking about. Nisangatva is not about running away. You are not attached to it. Now the person with 100, now he has to keep up a prestige. Right? To showcase that I have learned, so I need to teach now. Right? There's an attachment to it. But the person who has learned it for the love of the subject can effortlessly go and do that job. Right? So that is the difference. That is Nisangatva.
Okay.
Not associating with that 100 marks. That Nisangatva leads to Nirmohatva. Absolutely, no, because The person who has 100 is very attached to the subject.
To the marks, yeah.
Attached to the marks and the subject. If he is asked to teach, he has to go run away and teach. Right? So
I think I got it now. Yeah.
You got it?
Yeah.
Does it make
sort of, yeah. Yeah.
Mahodaya, what is that exactly? Nisangatva means not get attached with the satsanga also.
No. From satsanga, you are not attached to anything. Even in that satsanga, you are not too attached. You can step back. You can take a step back.
But satsanga is pulling you.
No, it is
into
not. It will not. This will take the same example.
Yeah, that is why the same thing I asked.
Wait. We'll take the same example that we took of the marks and the exams. Okay. You learned it for the sake of learning, right? Suppose somebody else is called on to teach that subject. Will you feel bad about it?
What I learned a little bit, I can tell them.
That's okay. No. Let us say between a person who worked for marks of 100 marks and then somebody who's really learned the subject. Yeah. Let us say the 100 marks person is called on to teach rather than the person who learned the subject. Okay, this person who has learned the subject, he is not going to attach and say, hey, you know what, I know this better than you, so I'll come and teach. Will that happen?
So that's Nisangatva. Yeah.
That is the Nisangatva.
I understood. Yeah.
That is the Nisangatva. And that leads to that you're not attached. So there is no, that is Nirmohatva. Probably that 100 marks fellow will come to this learned fellow and say, hey, help me with this. I don't know anything kind of things. It happens every day in our lives, right? With various other activities. Because the person has to maintain that prestige. There's a moha there. He has to hold on to that mark because he showcased the validation is externally coming in this case. That 100 marks is an external validation. It's not an internal validation. When you get an internal validation, it leads to a Nisangatva.
It depends on what goal you have.
Exactly.
Your goal is to learn.
Yes.
Or your goal is on marks.
Exactly. That's exactly where I started from, no?
Yeah.
So if your goal is to learn, it goes to that Nirmohatva. Right? Nirmohatva Nishchala Tattva. You are not attached. That person who needs to get to that 100 marks. Last time I showed that flow chart, no? We'll go through that sometime.
Yeah.
We did that. So that's exactly what happens. The more you are result oriented, it leads to certain problems. Yeah. So that is the whole idea here. Any questions? Any further questions? Anybody else wants to add any comments, thoughts? No? Everybody is good? Yeah. Shalini Mahodaya vadatu.
So Mahodaya, I think through all this churning, what we discussed right now, some people identified with the body, some with the mind. I think after doing the fundamentals of Vedanta, these could be individual reactions, but what I have arrived at is the knowledge, the theory part says you're not your mind, you're not your body, you're not your chitta, you're not an ahankar, not your ego, not your ahankar, not your chitta also. So, okay, that is theory. I mean, that I've started all part. What you are taking us through, walking us through is a very good exercise. But my question is, it's a blunt question.
Please. Yeah.
Do you know who you are?
Do I know who I am? Yeah, that's a very good question. I'm also on the journey. Otherwise, I wouldn't be sitting here, no?
Oh, yes, exactly. So that is exactly where I come to. It's a circle. Okay, fine. Thank you so very much. That was an honest answer.
So nobody here can say who I am.
Nobody here can say who I am. Yeah, is that disappointing?
No, it's okay.
No,
it's
some of us
our
are not
own,
even asking the question.
Maybe it's individual.
No, we're
but
all.
Mahodaya, Janaki Mahodaya, there is a difference. From what I see, the journey that Karthik Mahodaya has traveled and a little bit of the journey that I have traveled, we have started on the path. There are people who are scared to start. There are people who are wondering if they should start. And there are people who have kind of started. But that is the difference. Like we have traveled some path. Right now it will lead to nothing more than ankara. But just for the sake of difference, when you said the difference part, I'll say yes. Of course, nobody can say who am I, but there is a difference because you have peeled off some layers of the onion, right? Thank you.
So here is the way to look at it. This is not a race. First and foremost thing, this is not a race. We are not running a race here, and nobody getting there first does not give you any prize.
Yes, exactly. Thank you.
Right. So there is no point in saying, "Hey, I am there. You are here." No, that doesn't
No,
work.
we are not. I'm not saying we are. So when she said, so like, is everyone? It's not a race. It's just that what I'm saying is, if you step out of your comfort zone, if you start on that journey, there is hope for you reaching there because, like you, I have started the theoretical part, and like you, working on the self. But okay. Fine. I think it's a futile exercise. Then I'd be saying I'm better than those who have not started. Okay, I don't want to do that.
So as
Yeah.
long as you are on that journey, everything is okay.
Everything is fine. Yeah. Thank you.
Somebody may be people may be anywhere. It's not like, and trust me, this is not a single road. No, this is not one road leading to something. So it's a multiple. It's a set of things that you need to go through. Yeah.
And I would say
Mahodaya,
there are
Mahodaya, if you said, if I know who am I, I'll not be here. That means if I know who am I, I'll not be here with you.
No, that's not the answer. Okay. I think
We'll arrive at that. I think Karthik Mohdey will walk us through that also.
I think I should clarify that. I will not be here in the sense, when I say I'll not be here, I'll be in a different, it'll be a thoughtless state. That's what I meant. So currently I'm in a thoughtful state.
Okay. It depends on whether you are thoughtless or you are thought. That's the thing.
To begin with, no, step zero.
If you are in a thoughtless state,
then
that
still
means,
no. That is not
that
enough.
means you are there.
No. That is still not good.
Until that's our goal.
No. I'll come to that.
Is it our goal to be in a thoughtless state?
Hold on.
Okay,
Hold on to that. We'll define the goal. Yeah, that goal is very important. You're right. We should define the goal. If you're not defining the goal, it doesn't make sense. So there's that's why I started the goal with contentment. Contentment is a very different term than anything else. So if you are contented, then any state is okay with you. Okay. Then the agitation should not come if you're contented. Correct? So that agitation, if it is there, that means there is a contentment state which is not existing at this point. So how do you get to that contentment state? That is the question. Okay. So we'll move on for now. And yeah, this is what satsangatva and nisangatva mean. Sangha bhava siddhau sangarahityam bhavati. Okay. Sangarahityat mohapagamaha bhavati. Teshu sthirabuddhihi vartate. Sthairya siddhau avidya bandhanat muktaha brahmajnaninaha cha bhavati. He becomes a brahmajnani. That is the idea of this. So let's move on to one more shloka. Vayasi gate kaha kama vikaraha shushke neere kaha kasaraha shine vitte kaha parivaraha gyate tattve kaha samsaraha. Okay. This is a very simple thing. See, we all know that our desires come down as we age. Is that true?
In some sense.
Not for all.
Not for everyone. I don't believe that's true for everyone.
Okay. I'll give a different example for this.
Question again, Mahodaya, what's the question?
Our desires. Okay, I'll change the question. Does our desires change as we age?
Yes.
It changes. It is not the same. Correct?
Yeah.
The toy that we wanted as a child is not the same toy we want to play with today.
Yeah.
Correct? Simple thing. Very simple thing. As we age, these things change. Now, and all of you should be answering this more than I do. How does it change? Is it something bigger that we want? Yes, there's a point to which, does it keep on going forever, that it keeps on going and it says, this is not sufficient, this is not sufficient, this is not sufficient? Or at a point it peaks and then starts reducing?
It's not
What
uniform throughout.
Yeah.
Huh?
Certain
But
things.
some things,
reduce.
yeah.
It is all
It
uniform.
reduces.
Desires are so peculiar that desires will never happen. From
Never.
childhood, my desires never is not possible, impossible
Correct.
desires.
Okay, correct. So
Yeah.
what you attach that importance to is what changes, correct? So let us say as a child, we all wanted a toy. As we grew up, we wanted a cycle. As we grew up, we wanted a car. As we grew up, we wanted a bigger house. Okay.
What I
multiple things.
wanted, I want it forever. Like that. Yeah, that will never happen.
That is the question.
Yeah.
What is it that you get forever? Now, that is a very important question you yourself have
I
answered.
get attached to my mother, my family and all, but one by one, everyone, they are getting deleted from the world.
There you go.
Yeah,
so what
because
is now?
I want everyone.
Correct.
I want all the relatives with me.
Correct.
But it will never happen.
So Nagaprabha Madhya, now you need
From childhood, I'm seeing everyone gets deleted. Whoever come in contact, they will get deleted from my life.
Correct. So
that
now
I don't want. Yeah.
I'll see a different
That
question.
desire will not.
I'll see a different question.
Happen.
I'll see a different question in your mind. Can you find something that will be there with you forever?
Yeah, yourself.
No, hold on. No. That is some theoretical answer. We don't know.
Only my body till I die.
Till you die. Once you are dead.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Just yourself.
No, because my existence itself, because of my parents and my whatever, my family tree or my I am because the environment around me, how I means they are all the people who give culture in me. That those people who are like guru for me, and they will not be with me always.
Exactly the question which Arjuna also asked. You know, he said, Guru Nihatvanu Mahanubhavan. He said, how can I kill the gurus? This was the question. In some sense, you are not doing it, but there is something that is happening which is taking them away from you. That's your question? Correct, no? So now, change the thought process a little and ask yourself, can I have something that will be permanently with me? Forever. You're right. You need something that will be forever with you. We are all looking for that. And as we see something, as we see a toy, we think that we will get it in that. As we see a car, we say it is there in that. As we see a bigger house, we think that is where it is. As we see something bigger, it starts coming. As we see people who we are close friends to, or who we like so much, we like to spend time with, we think they are going to be there. We see that foreverness in these kind of things. Can you reverse that question and say, can I get something that will be forever with me?
I don't think you have to work towards it. Contentment?
No.
I think if I get that thing which is permanently with me, I'll get there will be some satisfaction.
There'll be some difference.
Yeah,
no?
Maybe that will take me to the route.
There'll be difference. No, there'll be a difference. Let's say there'll be a difference. I don't know whether it is. I don't want to qualify those differences. Okay. There'll be some difference. So can you start asking that question?
Wow, what is permanently with me?
What can I get that will be permanently with me?
What can I get from where?
Wherever.
My breath is there. As long as I'm alive, my breath.
Atma Tattvam. Atma Trikalesh.
From the world.
Wherever. Why only world? You just start thinking. That's a thought. I'll leave that thought with you. Questions you can start.
What will I something which I get will never go
away. Will never go away. which will be permanently with you forever. Just think about it. Keep thinking.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So,
No, but actually nothing belongs to us, no?
That's a different thing. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
exactly what Nagaprabha Mahathir
everything
said.
belongs to the universe. You're just given a chance to play with it when you come here.
That's exactly what Nagaprabha
Yeah.
Mahathir said. Everything that I like, start liking, everything that I start feeling and saying, this is mine, it goes away.
Correct.
Correct. That's exactly what she is saying.
Yeah.
I hear her. I understand what she exactly is saying. We all feel that. Correct. We had a toy as a child and that toy went away one day.
Nothing is permanent in life except
and
change.
there are relatives with us who go away someday. There are grandparents, there are granduncles, so many people. They all go away.
Not only Mahodaya, everybody knows everything, but desire is not changing everything.
Desire is not changing a bit. That is exactly what Acharya is saying. No, vayasi gate kaha kama vikaraha. It changes, but desire doesn't go, but it changes. Correct? You don't play with the same toy that you were playing as a child, no? You're not attached to the same friend who you used to play with in your third standard in some B section of that class, no? That has changed, no? In the same passion, you're not doing the same things.
Yeah, theory-wise, all are good.
You're not talking about, no. Let's not.
We may not be in contact with them, but we always pray for their well-being.
No. 1 minute.
In our mind, they are there.
1 minute. Hold on. We are not qualifying good, bad, etc. here. Please not. All that I'm saying is the same passion. I can use the word passion, no? The importance and the passion has changed. Your priorities has changed over time.
Yes.
Correct? That is
because of the situations.
Whether it is situation or whether it is a desire. That situation, that desire is also a situationally created. That situation is also desired and created. No, desired or undesired.
A situation, something which happens. If we don't create, also.
You have to ask questions.
Because our body always changing. It's not in our control.
Exactly.
I'm not saying.
No. Forget control, not control is different. At the end of it, some decisions were made based on some desire. And that desire led to some other situation. That decision led to some other situation. Correct?
Yeah.
Now those priorities changed accordingly. Right? So, it is like saying, if there is a pond, but there is no water in it, would you call it a pond?
No, a hole in the ground.
Shushke neere kaha kasaraha. One with all the water gone away, where is that kasara? Kshine vitte kaha parivaraha. That's exactly what Nagaprabha Mahathir said. Everybody is going away. Now, where is the family there? Right? What was family earlier has changed, no? The definition of a family itself changes in our own lifetime. Right? Till your children are with you and they are doing, that is your family. But once they get married, they move on, that is their family again. Do you say, no, that is still my family, I'll go live there and etc.? Yes, you do. But that distance comes in, no?
Yeah, in childhood, all our siblings are like in one house. But as we grow up, they will become our guest.
It goes on. That's the natural.
Very true.
Our family, they are our guest.
That is the natural way of life, no?
In one house, we are like siblings. We don't know that we will get separated like this. It's like a flood. In the flood, we are there, and the flood come and we'll get all separated.
Yes, that's how it is. That's how life is. Okay. So Acharya finally says, Gyate Tatve, samsara also does not exist then. If you become that Jnani, that Nishchala Tattva, then the samsara itself will stop existing for you. So all that state of different agitated state, happy state, sad state, there will be situations that will happen. As I said, pain is inevitable. Pain will be there. Bodily functions will be there.
Yeah.
But the way the mind will react, the mind will dissolve. If the mind dissolves, then there is no concept of a samsara. The samsara is essentially in the mind, nowhere else. Simple example to prove it. If the samsara existed in, say, outside external world, with a toy that the child is playing with, every child should draw equal happiness with that same toy. Will that happen?
No.
Some children like to play with the car. Some children like to play with some, Ludo, some random other games. Card games, board games, cycling, whatever. If the happiness were in those cards or in that cycle or in this one, then every child would have been equally happy with each of those things. Does that ever happen? So that is the tattva. If you understand that, then Nagaprabha Mahodaya can start thinking on those lines. What is it that I can permanently have that will make me satisfied? Forget that. What is it that I can permanently have? Whether it's satisfied, contented, secondary story. What is it that I can permanently have in my life? You can start thinking on that. So this is a question for all of us, actually. First question, who am I? And what is it that I can permanently have? Not in life, permanently have. Forget life, death, etc., etc. We'll think about death in the next class. We are already run out of time. I wanted to do many more slides, actually. But okay, I think I've got quite a few of this one. Good discussion. So it's just, this is what it is. We'll stop for, yeah. So thoughts, we have about 3 minutes. So thoughts, questions, ideas, please bring out. Bhavani Mahodaya vadatu.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to add to that who am I discussion.
Please.
So for me, the eureka moment came when I began my study of astrology, because I was my family has many astrologers, and so I began the study of astrology. The first thing that they say there is the soul is supposed to take birth at the time when karma from its previous birth is in cosmic equilibrium with the position of the planets. So for me, that was the eureka moment.
Okay. Okay. So you realize something there. Good.
Yeah. So for me, at that time, my journey started. Okay, who am I?
Who am I? The who am I journey started. Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So then you begin to question, okay, what is karma? Then there are 3 types of karma. Then how do you reduce that karma? Then, I mean, the scriptures have answers to all this. And so then you learn, then you put it into practice, then you incorporate it into your life, and then the journey goes on.
Journey keeps on going. Yes. So as I was saying, it is not a race. So it is, everybody is on the journey.
It's not a race.
Everybody is on a journey. We all go there. We just keep going. That's about it. As long as you're on that, even if you're sitting, it's okay. Momentum will push you at some point.
Yeah. So basically, I mean, you have to understand what that karma is. So then, only then you will figure out.
That's one way of doing it. That's one way of doing it.
Can I ask you a counter question, ma'am?
Yeah, sure.
If you have not started on this journey, would you have been better off or worse off? Are you saying that?
No, better. I mean, you should. Everybody has to start on this journey. Otherwise,
everybody has to. It's not a question of everybody has to.
No, everybody will someday be on this journey.
No, I think I want to cut that discussion here. I want to answer it differently. Hold on. No, that is not the right question to ask, actually, to begin with. Would you be better off and worse off? Is a qualifying question. Right? You are qualifying as something is better and something is worse. Correct? So which means that it comes back to the same point that saying, your better and worse is in the external object that is there. Right? It is same as saying that there are toys and each child should be equally happy with that toy. So what is better for you, Mahodaya, need not be better for Bhavani Mahodaya, for instance.
Yeah.
Right? So she may define it's better, but you will feel, what the hell, she said it is better, I am not feeling it better. You can get into that cycle. That's a huge whirlpool.
No, it's not comparison.
She was
It's not-
I think
it's
if
I'm
she's
just saying-
happy with the journey.
If she is,
she made that decision.
is the state
That's what,
correct? Is the state before this realization? Is there a marked change in that? There's no comparison. Because there are many of us who are not completely initiated or not even initiated. There are so many people who are not even aware that all these, the Vedanta is there. And I see them also equally happy.
So Parvati Mahodaya, that's where I'm coming from. This is not saying, this is not about saying whether your question should be, did you do the right thing or was it not the right thing for you?
For you, yeah, for her personally.
Right.
That's what she meant.
That is
Are
the
you
question
happy with the decision?
That is the question. Now, that is a question which I would avoid in any discussion. Because it is not a question to be asked at all. That's a journey. And it's an individualistic journey. This is not a collective journey that we are all going through. Satsanga helps. People together help. All these things happen. And everybody shares their experience. But to say whether it is a right thing to do or not a right thing to do is an individualistic thing.
It's not right
or wrong. Yeah.
It is, how do you feel?
How do you feel about it?
So this how do you feel is, I know this is going on in a very lot of places and I want to cut it. How do you feel? Do I feel happy about it? Do I feel sad about it? Do I feel better about it? Do I feel don't I feel better about it? Is something that you need to go through and answer for yourself. That is not something that you can get from somebody. Oh, you know what? That helped me, so take it. It's not a medicine. Okay. So please don't take this as any form of a medicine or as this one. If you think you want to be there, you please continue on it and just take experiences, and without any call that, whether you are better off before, you are better off now, or did you feel good? Did you not feel good? Was it a blissful thing? Secondary questions. These are all secondary questions to be taken at all. This is that's why for us, Vedanta, when we do Vedanta, this is a very strictly a very, very factual and, dry, cut dry thing that we get into. And it's very deliberately done so. And as we will see in coming classes as well, I was explaining Taittiriya Upanishad in the beginning of the session. Every time a question is asked, right? That the Guru just says, Satapo Tapyata. He just says, go do tapas. He does not give an answer. There is no answer that is given in any state of any Upanishad. You go through any Upanishad, this is the structure it will take. It will give you facts, it will give you pointers, it will give you directions. But it's an individual journey all through. What is your experience need not be somebody else's experience at all. Okay, so this is something that we all have to bear in mind and take it up. Everybody will have experiences. Please share all the experiences. This is wonderful, nice. But that is their experience and leave it at that. Don't say that my experience also has to be in that same direction, because then you'll start, as this comes to the marks point again, that 100 marks. You'll start chasing that experience rather than saying, am I on the journey? That becomes a challenge. Okay. So this is a very, very, very important thing that we should clarify before we get into any Vedantic journey. I know a lot of people who get into that, it's a blissful experience. It's a good meditative structure. We should get into meditation. We should start doing this. Nice, good, great, fantastic. But it's your journey. At the end of it, it is your journey. There are also people who initially feel a lot of difficulty in going through it. Let me be very honest. There are a lot of people who come and say, I can't sleep. That's a journey that they have. Okay, initially it is there. Some people say, initially there was a question that keeps coming up in Professor Mahadevan's class every now and then. Initially I started, now I don't want samsara. I don't want to be associated with the world. I want to leave away my children. I want to go away. All these things come. Okay. These are all evolutionary stages. Each person has an individual different set of evolutionary stage based on the karma, the prarabdha, the sanchita that they come up with. And that's where it leads to. And we'll discuss these in detail. We'll discuss these in much more detail. So we'll keep that discussion around that, if that is okay with everyone.
Mahodaya.
Yes, yes.
Why we call this as a journey? I think.
Very good
Why
question.
it's a journey? Means
Because
in life itself, we encounter something and we will realize I think something we will realize, but which is not, maybe we'll not study the scriptures
I
and
will
all.
answer this.
We'll not be thinking that we are in a something like we are learning something. Without a guru also, sometimes you may realize.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I'll give
we will not be aware that we are like something
I agree. So Nagaprabhu Madhya, I think we are running out of, we have already run 6 minutes late. So for now, I'll just quickly answer that, but next week I'll take it up in detail. See, I'll give a very simple example. Very, very simple example. There are people who, for a lot of people, a guru is not necessarily a physical person. A lot of people have read just a book. A very, if you read, there is a book called Lectures from Colombo to Almora. I don't know how many of you have read that book. Vivekananda, Swami Vivekananda's lectures. He returned from Chicago. When he returned from Chicago, he landed in Colombo. So his lectures from Colombo to Almora, all are marked out. Okay. The first lecture that he gave in Colombo, apparently there was a boy, some 8-10-year-old boy, okay, who was just sitting there. Then Swami Vivekananda started with a statement. He said, the subject is very vast. Yeah, his statement was exactly the same. The subject is very vast and we have very little time. Whatever, that little boy got Brahmagnana out of it and went away. Became a great sannyasi. That's all. That one statement was enough for him to get Brahmagnana. You and I may not be able to make out anything out of that statement. That's all. That one thing. So this whole thing called how the Guru appears, what happens. There are many more stories like this, where Devi has appeared without doing anything. That is Purva Janma Samskaras. We'll come to that. We'll come to that and discuss it in detail. What is death? We'll start the next session with what is death. Qualifying death. That's important, no? Why do we die? So what is it that, what is death? We'll start from there and we'll move on from there. Astu? Any other things we can discuss after this? Om Swasti Prajabhyah Paripalayanta Nyayena Margena Mahimahishah Brahmanebhyo Shumastu Nityam Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavanto Kale Varshatu Parjanyah Prithvi Sasishalini Eshoyam Shobharita Brahmana Santu Nirbhayah Aputra Putrinas Santu Pautrinah Adanat Satanat Santu Jivantu Sharadam Shatam Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Viramayah Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Kashchit Dukkha Bhat Bhavet Harihi Om Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Dhanyavadah.
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 Dhanyavadah.